Viewer discretion is advised.
New York Giants, and let's see, they blew one of the biggest leads in playoff history to Jeff Garcia and the Niners. Deshaun Jackson did this to us. LT loved cocaine. Dave Brown was our quarterback. Dave freaking Brown. We got destroyed by the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Right after we got back into the game, they immediately did this to us. Plaxico Burress shot himself. Ray freaking Handley. And of course, I don't think it gets any worse than this. They lost a game where all they had to do was kneel it out, and it ended up going back for a touchdown to the Eagles. The Eagles, goddammit. The Eagles.
Oh, you thought I'd wait to the end to do the Giants. Here's the thing that triggers fans of Big Blue. Eli is a bum and not worthy of the Hall of Fame. He got lucky 2 times. You hear that? Lucky. You chose to promote Ray Handley over Bill Belichick. Just the sight of an Eagles fan, and you know he's going to bring up Deshaun Jackson. And how long until these fake-ass fans are yelling for Daniel Jones to start, then yelling to put Eli back in? Week 4? This jersey actually has superpowers. You put it on and your offensive line disappears. And so does your arm strength. The Giants must have not gotten the memo on what color rush is, as theirs is all white, which has been the color of the flag they have raised on the last 2 seasons. It's amazing. I don't see a single Giants jersey being worn here either. And finally, the only stadium in the NFL that has roommates. MetLife has also been the only non-domed cold weather venue to host a Super Bowl. Opened in 2010 and somehow having the largest listed seating capacity, Jerry World can actually go to 100,000 if needed. The stadium has seen its 2 tenants do some awful things, like cover up the other squad's championship banners and subject their own fans to Geno Smith. Next to the park is an indoor downhill skiing facility, and yeah, that's the perfect metaphor for both teams' seasons last year. Ah, Gang Green and Big Blue. siblings forever. Teams do not have mascots. That's the New York Giants, New York Jets, Green Bay Packers, Washington Redskins, and the LA Chargers. So fans of those teams, you are spared the derision. 6 NFL teams do not have cheerleaders. They are the Buffalo Bills, the Chicago Bears, the Cleveland Browns, the Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for those who came here looking for pictures of cheerleaders, easy there, Tiger. For the Giants, it's interesting that they do not have cheerleaders as the Jets do, a team that shares the same stadium, but thankfully not the same failure as a football franchise. The Giants have probably the most commentary from ownership as to why they don't have cheerleaders, as owner John Mara has given his thoughts on the situation. Philosophically, we have always had issues with sending scantily clad women out on the field to entertain our fans. Also, his dad, Wellington Mara, vowed never to have cheerleaders because that was not what the organization stood for or represented. I'm cool with that. I'm more interested in Super Bowl rings because there's this thing called the internet and a town called Las Vegas that many of you have heard of. There are, however, unofficial cheer squads for the Giants, as the Gotham City Cheerleaders, the New York Unofficial, and Gotham's Team Blue Army Dancers were formed to cheer on the squad and help us not feel so bad when Eli gets in that interception kind of mood.
The number one player in the NFL, in my opinion, for 2018, that's holding his football team back. For me, it's got to be Eli Manning. I don't know why he's still the starter. You know, if you guys remember when he got benched last year, the city of New York freaked out. How the fuck can you bench Eli? You know, and they were just freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, actually, that's what they need to do. And sure enough, he got put back in, and he's been on the field since. By the way, I could put Joe Flacco in the top 5. I should mention Joe Flacco, too. So, honorable mention to Joe Flacco. Now, why do I mention Joe Flacco with Eli Manning? When you watch both those guys play, okay, you know, you look at an immobile quarterback like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the most unstoppable quarterback in the NFL because of how quick he gets rid of the football. And that's you're seeing that out of Patrick Mahomes too. You know, this year people would say Patrick Mahomes. But Tom Brady's got a far larger body of work. So when you're talking about Eli Manning, it's not just the fact that he dinks and dunks the fucking shit out of the football. It's also he's so immobile. He could barely move around the fucking pocket. The guy moves around the pocket like a damn grandpa. There's nothing he can do. He's still got a strong arm. I'll give him that. His ball placement's bad. I mean, gosh, folks, you know, you look at that Giants game. It was the one against the Redskins. You look at some of those one-handed catches Odell Beckham was making. The ball wasn't even in the zip code to where it should have been. His accuracy's bad. If you get the pressure on him, he's cooked. His footwork in the pocket sucks. He still makes dumb throws like he's always made. And you're talking about an offense. And by the way, Evan Ingram, he's been pretty bad this year. That's one thing that's flown under the radar with the New York Giants. Evan Ingram has not been good. He's dropped some big passes, folks. You know, there's some people that just, Evan Ingram, yeah, that's a talented tight end. Oh, yeah, he's going to be, he's good. Are you sure about that? Have you been watching the games? Because what I've seen is Evan Ingram underachieving. Now, I think you can attribute some of that to Eli. Evan Ingram's had some catchable balls he didn't haul in, and he's had a handful of drops. I don't think he's been very good this year. I also don't think he's in a rhythm at all with Eli. I don't think anyone is. So, to me, when you're talking about an offense with Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham, and yes, they've got some problems on the offensive line too, namely the right side of the offensive line. But Eli being old and bad, to simplify, exacerbates that. Just absolutely exacerbates that. So, to me, Eli Manning's holding back his football team more than anyone in the NFL. And that's not to say he's the only problem on the Giants. It's not the case. The secondary hasn't been great this year. You know, there's some holes in the defense. Got to do some work on the offensive line. But Eli Manning is like a magnifying glass to all of their problems.
This logo isn't bad. We don't have to change much either, except hold on. We got to put a hand on here and then extend it up, way up further. Yeah, in honor of the freaking reach this team made for Daniel freaking Jones. God damn it. Gentlemen, you traded OBJ and now you draft a guy that another team wanted to work out at tight end. This has seriously been the worst offseason ever. I know what to do with this damn logo. Giants fan, we are saltier than pastrami on a rye bun. This offseason has left a worse taste in our mouth than eating shoe polish out of a can. Eli is dying. Daniel Jones was a reach. Odell was traded away. Also, the team has been bad for a while. I've done enough crying this offseason to know how my tears taste, and they are salty.